All right, so there you go. Just as we begin to wind down on the conversation tonight, we have to, of course, delve into the COVID-19 pandemic and, of course, the fact that most businesses, SMEs, are indeed under a threat, the way things are going, especially there have been talks about a possible lockdown or another lockdown. We hope it does not come to pass because, indeed, it will be a very terrible situation. But John, before I sign on that particular chart, I had, of course, with the CEO of Salon Business Africa, I would have to leave you with something to think about. It's actually my thoughts for the week, or my closing thoughts for the week, and it's one by the legendary Obafemi Awolowo. He said some time ago that the children of the poor you failed to train will never let your children have peace. I hope we can put that up if we may. Obafemi Awolowo, of course, one of the best leaders in this country. Some many years ago, I do not know how he was able to envision this, but he said the children of the poor you have failed to train, or you failed to train, will never let your children live in peace. I hope we get to do the right thing. All right, so there you go. That's my closing thought on the program tonight. I dare you to think about it this week. I'll leave you with that chart now with Uche Umana. I spoke with her earlier in the week. This is Firecrackers. We'll see you some other time. Bye. You have a very huge CV, I must say, and huge background. But talk us through your perspective about SMEs in Nigeria. What's your assessment?
Okay, when I talk about SMEs, I always start with my journey because it seems to be something that is predominant with our society. So most of us do not have the basic business education when it comes to getting into business. We have a skill, we have a hustle, we have experience, we just delve right into business. Now, are those valid for starting a business? Absolutely. But are there other prerequisites that we need to put in place? Absolutely. And that's why, as huge as this industry is in Nigeria, we still have a lot of failed businesses or businesses that are, close to shutting down. And that's basically where my strength, or I look at, the story of SMEs in Nigeria. Do we have a chance of survival? Yes. Can we survive at the rate and the pace we're going? Not a lot of us.
But then how about the ease of doing business in Nigeria? I mean, the Nigerian environment, is it a huge factor, in ensuring that businesses will thrive or survive?
Honestly, you see, initially I used to think the phrase, if you can do business in Nigeria, you can do business anywhere, was just a phrase, but it's actually our reality. And another handicap, which is why I still go back to what we can control, another handicap is that a lot of us are not actually prepared for this reality. In Nigeria, as with most developing countries, if I may say, there are challenges that you face. We have to provide most of the basic infrastructures that we need. We still have to pay our taxes. We still, have to provide like I said, most of the basic necessities that we need. But in all of that, most of us, like I said, are not even prepared for the reality of running the business itself. So we have people who have that energy, that drive to work, but they are not prepared as business persons, to face it. Because sometimes when we talk about doing business in, in other climes, we still have people who come from these places to do business here. So what makes them succeed? So as you can see, it's a case of potato. You just have to figure out, what the pain point is at that place, yeah.
Right, you're very passionate about the salon business. I mean, we've had discussions about this particular business, and I'm just wondering, where are we as, with the way things are right now?
Okay, like I said, I'm actually a business consultant, but I chose the beauty niche because when I started hustling, quote, that was actually where I started from. And for those who know my story, I share it a lot. I had failed 3 times because I had a 9-to-5, and I felt, oh, okay, I needed an extra source of income. So at that point, I grew up with a lot of experience and skills around hairdressing and hair making, because I really loved it. I was passionate about it. So I felt it was the easy business to start, because we also saw the turnover. You know how you go to the salons and they are fully booked. So you're like, okay, this is the right place to start. So when I delved in, that was when the first reality of running a business hit me. So you had this business running, you put people there, but because you're not on the ground, they mismanage. So at the end of the day, the business that was supposed to bring money for you starts taking from your salary and what you're earning. So I had to close the first time. I ventured again a second time and still failed, and the third. So at the end of the day, I had to go back to the drawing table. What did I get wrong? And that was when it hit me that in all of this you have right, but the business of this you do not understand. So I took that up, and that was how I started studying on a business management development. Then I did that on a broad scope, but when I wanted to specialize, I had to still go back to beauty business, like I said, because I realized that in all that education I got, I never went to any business school, and I was asked, okay, what business do you do? And okay, I was sent somewhere else. So business, as we all know, has a basic foundation, especially SMEs, before you move to the next phase. And like I said, I knew the level of waste in the industry, because that's an industry I am very conversant with. So I knew the level of waste in the industry. So that was why I chose to major in business structuring, management, and also development for people in salon and beauty businesses.
And of course, you're putting up some events very recently about some of these about what you're passionate about.
Oh yes. I had done that, and I started off in 2019. We're able to have the first salon business masterclass, actually, that covered not skills, but we're talking about business. We're breaking down businesses, and we worked on it for 2019. It was supposed to continue the next year, then COVID happened, but we're still bringing it back, because after the pandemic, a new wave of business and new trends in also doing business in the industry is up now, and we still need people to be not just aware of the skills, but also how to do business now, because business in the industry is going differently. So yes, this September, we are definitely having a masterclass, especially for people. We'll pick a location, but also we are going to encourage the need for a lot of people in beauty business to start taking virtual classes, seminars, and anything that has to develop their business, because that's what we're trying to push. That's the new trend, and not just the trend, that is also the new place for them to get the partnerships that they desire, the collaborations, and also the finance. Most of them are virtual.
There talks about the Delta variant of the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm not sure how the beauty business survived during the pandemic itself. I mean, and now another talks of this particular very deadly variant, yes, and all of that. And then there also talks of about a possible lockdown too, again, especially here in Lagos, the epicenter.
Yeah.
Does that scare you a bit as your businesses, and should people who have businesses in Nigeria be very concerned?
Absolutely. And not just because of the virus, but because of what it will do to the economy as well. Because, like you know, beauty business to a large extent involves a lot of contact. But what the COVID has done, which is what I keep telling people, is it's now calling to mind the security and also health measures that have always been in the industry that people have taken for granted. Like the health measures that are required for you to operate in the COVID situation have always been in the industry. You work with equipment, you're supposed to sterilize often. You work with chemicals, you're supposed to mask yourself. You're supposed to protect your client. So it's not as if these are new, and which is also why we're pushing for education in the industry. Because those who are educated, those who are cosmetologists, those who are professionals in the industry already had these processes in place. So transitioning from there to the COVID regulations was not that difficult because they already put it in place. So those who are struggling, especially in beauty industry, with the lockdown, with the pandemic, are those who have never, who do not rather know about this regulations or precautions. So it's already in the industry. Then the impact on the industry is one of the reasons why we are pushing for this trainings. Because as much as we're going to have different people joining, we're also bringing in potential partners, potential collaborations that would help them, still remain in business and also run sustainable businesses despite, the outcome of the pandemic.
All right, I'm not sure they say a date yet for...
Oh, we do. Yes, the event will hold on the 25th of September 2021. And yes, it's going to be both offline and virtual. And like I said, the reason we're pushing for virtual is so we get people who really want to run sustainable businesses in the industry to be abreast of what is happening. And like I also mentioned, we're getting partners, possible collaborations for a lot of people, and the only way you're visible is if they can actually see that you use platforms that go beyond, coming, physically to a location. But if you're outside of Lagos, we encourage you to join virtually. Yes.
If you look, when you look at Nigeria's economy and SMEs and businesses and generally, do we have government-friendly policies to help businesses thrive?
I think there are policies in paper, but are they being implemented at the grassroots level? That's what I cannot really answer, because in fairness to most of these policies, they are being implemented in some areas, they are implemented in some locations, but the places that actually need them, sometimes they are not available. Because I've had costs to either co-train or co-run some programs, and most of them you find probably in areas where there is possible visibility and awareness for the organizers and also, the people running the program. But when it comes to the impact we're looking at, most of these programs, I think they look good more on paper than the impact they're creating.
All right, and just maybe finally on a lighter note, this beauty business, is it a female thing or a male thing?
So in fact, I am glad you asked this question. And it's actually a serious question, because when we talk about beauty business, people think, oh, it's feminine. But the value of this industry globally is about 116 million naira. 116 million. And when it comes to Africa, Nigeria is actually one of the major contributors. So it means we do a lot, we push in a lot in terms of funds in this business. And when we talk about beauty, people just restrict it mentally to owning a beauty shop or, maybe having a salon, barbing salon, or the spas or any of that. But we have over 15 career opportunities that can actually take you to any level you want in life. Like, I'm a beauty business consultant. I don't own a physical beauty salon, but I have a structure that helps people run their businesses. We have people who are educators. We have people who are trainers. We have people who are actually the collaborators for manufacturers. So there is so much we can do in the industry, and we also have those who are the importers. Whether you categorize them or not, if you're importing and you're dealing on beauty products, you are in the industry. So we need to start broadening our horizon. If you have a passion in the industry, there is somewhere in the supply chain where you fit in, and you need to find it. Yes. So imagine my journey when I started. Like, if I had this clarity when I started, I'm sure I probably would have gone very far. But I had to start like every other person, which is go through the rudiments of open your salon, open your hair business, fail, struggle, to realize that, okay, this field is big enough, I can be here, but this is where my specialty is needed.
It's good to hear your story and read about your story. You failed 3 times and
Yes,
then
I did.
the 4th time you succeeded.
Yeah, so 4th time was a charm.
Yeah, it sounds like a story of our president. All right, CEO, Salon Business Africa, Uche,
Yes.
thank you most kindly for coming on the show.
Thank you for always having me. I appreciate it.